Hello everyone, I'm Sneha Marathe, Assistant Professor, PG Department of Law, SP University. Today I welcome my students for the lecture of judicial process. Today I'll be discussing tools and techniques of judicial creativity and precedent. So before starting, what is the tools and techniques of the judicial creativity? We have up till now studied the concept of judicial process. In last session, we have also discussed how judges plays an important role to put in creativity in law, and how the judicial process altogether put in creativity in law. So concept of precedent. Why concept of precedent is important? The concept of precedent we have also studied before that in the form of stare decision. The stare decision, the actual translation of the Latin verb is to stand by the thing whatever has been decided earlier. So the concept, the doctrine of stare decision is used to follow the decision whatever has been decided by the earlier court or superior court. This is accepted by the judges just to maintain the consistency in law, just to maintain the uniformity in law. So precedent is the previous judgment taken as rule for the subsequent cases. In simple words, it is a precedent. Now, doctrine of precedent in India, we have taken the doctrine of precedent in India on the basis of Article 141 of our Indian Constitution. This article gives authority to Supreme Court with the taken authority, or Supreme Court derives authority from this article, and that is why whatever decision has been given by Supreme Court, those will be binding to the other subordinate court to the Supreme Court, and all other courts like High Court, then District Court, Session Court, Magistrate Court, all these courts comes in subordination to the Supreme Court, and that is why Supreme Court's judgment will be followed as a precedent by all these courts except Supreme Court itself, because Supreme Court has that freedom to even go into the judicial review for their own decision. So only the Supreme Court decision is not binding to Supreme Court itself. Except Supreme Court, all other courts are bound by their decision. This is how the concept of precedent works. When we are discussing concept of precedent, then we have understood what is stare decision. Then there are two other element of judgment. They also plays an important role. One is ratio decidendi. What is the ratio decidendi? It is a principle of law on which decision is based, and the judge decides the case. So in simple words, we can say whenever judge is deciding any case, he takes the support of any particular legal principle, any particular statute, any particular provision to decide the case, and that law point, that reason why this decision has been given by particular judge, that is the reason part, that is known as ratio decidendi, and this part is having that authority of the precedent. The authority of precedent comes from this part of ratio decidendi. The other part of judgment laws are known as orbitum dictum. Obiter dictum is known as judge's opinion. The concept is, many times whenever judge decides any case, he take a simple provision or simple rule of law to decide the particular case. But just by giving one statute and one rule of law, judge cannot decide the case. As we have discussed earlier, judge also has to take care of similar situation, surrounding environment. Then what will happen if this may be the case, what he will decide if other things will be the case. Likewise, judge has to critically apply his mind. He also has to compare the things with other related cases of similar type of issues or different type of issues. Likewise, so whenever judge is deciding any case, he goes into detailed analysis of everything. So whatever he decides or whatever he think upon, all this speculates cases, and all these things, what he thinks or what he comment upon, all these things are known as orbiter dictum. It is the opinion of judge. And actually, opinion of judge is not having authoritative binding to the as a precedent. Now, which type of precedent has more value? When we talk about precedent's value, if the precedent, the case has been decided by a renowned judge, then the precedent have more value. If the larger bench has have decided the case, then the precedent has more value. If the known advocates have argued upon that particular case, in that case precedent have more value. So on the basis of if the judges out of the bench, the unanimously if judges had decided particular case, in that case that kind of precedent will have more value to it. So likewise, we can understand how the concept of precedent comes in and how it is important in the case of judgment. Now we will discussing types of types of precedent. Original precedent. As per the Salmon, what is known as the original precedent? Original precedent is one which create and applies a new rule. So this precedent is altogether new. No one has given such decision before. So if judge is giving altogether new rule or new interpretation to particular statute, it is known as original precedent, and that precedent will have authority to the next cases, to the future cases. Declaratory precedent is one which is merely the application of already existing law. So declaratory precedent have authority as already existing rule of law. Now there are two types, if as we generally take the use of the precedent. First is authoritative precedent. The authoritative precedent is the type of precedent which compulsorily bind other court or other judge to follow the rule of precedent. Say example, Supreme Court's decision will be binding on all high courts. So whenever high court's judge or bench of judge, when they are there to decide the case, at that time they have to follow the precedent decided by the Supreme Court. So in that case, that particular precedent is having authoritative binding over that high court judge, and that is why that type of precedent is known as binding precedent or authoritative precedent. The other type of precedent is known as persuasive value. The persuasive value is, say example, if there is one precedent has been set by the High Court of Madras, and on the same issues there was case in High Court of Gujarat. In that case, High Court of Gujarat, the judge of the High Court of Gujarat is not having that binding of authoritative nature, but he is having binding of but he can use that precedent as persuasive value, just as a guideline or just as a supporting document, but that decision will not have authoritative binding on uh, Gujarat judge. This is how the concept of precedent works. Now we will be discussing tools and technique used for the judicial creativity. Starting with first, statutes. When we are discussing tools and technique, which are the tools used for the judicial creativity? First of all, statute. There are so many acts, statutes are there, and they keeps on changing, they keeps on amending as per the requirement of a society, and that is why they plays an very important tool of judicial creativity, because earlier there is history in history time, there is earlier the act is there, but as per the current situation, as per the need of society, it get amends, it get changed, and that is how that updated statute, that updated amended act plays as a very important tool for the judicial creativity. The other element or other tool we can use in form of decision of other country courts. Many times whenever judge decides the case, they use the other country's judgment, other country's laws as a persuasive value, as we have discussed in the precedent. It means that it is not binding on them to follow the other country's law, but they take the support of that law or the support of that analysis to develop our country's law. So the other country's law are used as a persuasive tool to develop our laws in our country. So that is another tool used by the judges. The third tool, as we have discussed, precedent. It is a very important tool used by the judiciary time to time, and many times it has been used by the all high courts, supreme courts. Whenever they find any difficulty in deciding any case, they set a larger bench and they come up with the new decisions for the development of our development and the growth of our laws and for the betterment of our country. The next tool is PIL, that is public interest litigation. This is also plays an important role in form of tool whenever it comes to development of the laws, because up till now only there was the rule of locus standi was there. If you are not a party to any particular case, you cannot file the case. But after this concept of PIL, it comes in. After that, any person, even if the person is not the deprived person, but he feels so, a class of people or the group of people, if they are suffering from any particular issue, and on behalf of them also, a public spirited person, social worker, any activist, any lawyer can file an PIL, and they can it has been seen that Justice Bhagwati has given many judgment in for the betterment of the society, and it has came through the tool of PIL. The next is application of different jurisprudence of various author. Many times if judge does not find any the right direction to give the justice to any rule, in that case many times they try to use the concept of jurisprudence given by the different jurists. As we say, the Austin has given the law as in form of command. The Bentham has given the concept of jurisprudence or in form of utilitarian approach. As if we think jurisprudence in form from the eyes of Roscoe Pound, he has given social engineering approach to adjust with the dynamics need of the society. This is how, when judges finds that if there is any problem, or if they are not finding any solution which is for the betterment of the society, then they try to use different they try to use theories and lessons of different jurists. Then use of distinguishing approach. The use of distinguishing approach means whenever as we say, the advocates are there to advocate the case, but after when the advocate finish their work of argument, after that the role comes in of the judge. In that case, judge have to check why the judge wants to follow X precedent but he don't want to follow the Y precedent. What is the distinguishing character of these two cases, and how these two cases are differentiating from each other, and that is why the judge wants to follow only case A but not case B. This is a concept of distinguishing opinion that also judges adopt to come to the right direction and the right conclusion. So this is all we can say, different tools used as a putting in or creating judicial creativity. The another one thing what I have left is use of dissenting opinion of the judges. The dissenting opinion of judges is also one tool, and it has been seen that we can see with the example of Justice Fazl Ali. He has given dissenting judgment in the A.K. Gopalan case, and afterwards and in case of A.K. Gopalan, he has given dissenting judgment, but after his opinion has been taken as a supporting opinion in case of Menka Gandhi's case, when it has given the larger interpretation of Article 21. So this is with we have discussed how many tools, like we have discussed statute, decisions of foreign countries, court, precedent, PIL, then different approach of various jurists, then distinguishing approach, then use of dissenting opinion. All these are different tools which judges use alternatively, or the mix of them, when they want to come to the right solution for the social ordering and to maintain the positivity to the society. With this, we will be also discussing one more topic of law development by the legal reasoning and codified system. So up till now we have seen how the law and how the judges can put in creativity, how precedent works, how stare decision, what is ratio decidendi or what is orbiter dictum, everything works, and how judges made responsible to make the judgment laws. Yes, but with this, legal reasoning is also a very important thing, because whenever judges are given the responsibility of making judgment laws, they have to follow the legal reasoning and codified system of law, because it is observed that generally the judges have that opinion. They generally tries to follow the precedent, and they tries to follow the doctrine of stare decision, because they want that the faith of common people should be there in judiciary. If they keep on changing the laws, if they keep on changing the decisions, in that case it may happen the common people will lose the faith in them, and that is why they always try they always strive to follow the precedent decided by the Supreme Court or higher courts. They are also made the custodian of our constitution. So ultimately, the constitutional aspect also they have to look into, like concept of basic structure doctrine. Whenever they are making any laws, in case of judgment laws also, they have to follow that, and they have to keep that in their mind that their made laws should not violate any kind of means like it should not in violative of basic structure or any constitutional fundamental rights or any constitutional article. Judges also have to follow, and they also have to make the laws on the basis of given authority, because they have to follow the hierarchy. Like if the Supreme Court judgment is there, they have to follow it because it comes with the authoritative precedent. So likewise, they have fixed boundaries to follow, like they have to follow the statute, they have to follow the constitution, they have to follow whatever the acts are there, and with all these boundaries, with all this limitation, they have to come up with the amicable solution which will be useful for the betterment of the society, such that and that is why judge can not make the laws only on the whims and fancies of his own, but he has to give reason, he has to give the rules or provision or applicability or facts or evidence, everything. And by following, by adapting all these boundaries, by following all these guidelines only, he has to give the judgment, not on the basis of his own limitation. So this is how, whenever judge is being creative or making laws, and that judgment laws are nowadays putting their means like they are putting input in, they are giving maximum input in social legal development and social legal welfare. So with this we are done with the other topic of tools and technique for the judicial development, judicial creativity, and how judicial creativity has to follow the legal reasoning and codes of the codes and the conduct of the judiciary. With this we are done with the unit 1 part. So go through all my videos and all of the material whatever I have shared before, and you can approach me, you can ask me any queries if you have related to unit 1. Thank you.